starting, right? But they did a lot of stuff. Very nice.
It's quite apparent.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
a lot of stuff.
I think they're still kind of processing, but did you all ever think you'd be here doing this?
No. This is really out of our nose. It's like we never thought that we would actually program a fish to do all this at all.
We'll add that to the syllabus next year.
Yeah.
We're going to have a work study at Lake Travis.
Yeah.
So are all y'all seniors?
Yes.
All of you are seniors. Okay.
Hey,
So
can you name off some of the languages, just to add to that? What languages do you guys, raise your hand and just mention the language you guys learn how to program with, and technology.
JavaScript, a bit of C++.
JavaScript,
That we
A bit of
learned from.
Python.
Python.
Yes.
Python.
So what, y'all knew that, y'all didn't know any of those before you started?
No, we knew Java and JavaScript.
Right, okay.
C++.
And REST, you guys use
Python.
REST interfaces, right? And security credentials.
Some batch programming in there as well.
They had a chance to play with Into.
They did too. So they've actually been
Linux.
exposed to a half a dozen different new languages and technologies. They know how to do cloud programming. And believe it or not, we've had people in the room that didn't know what cloud was. And they may not be able to answer what that is, but they know that cloud is a service that you call that's sitting somewhere in the world. In fact, this one happens to be in Dallas, a lot of these, so they know cloud programming now. On their resume, you can put cloud programmer, right? So good skill. So they get exposed to quite a bit, actually.
Think about it, guys. Your resume, your portfolio truly sets you apart.
Good.
So did this project give you ideas of how you can use Bluemix moving forward? And maybe taking those
Yeah,
projects?
lots of ideas.
First of all, I could probably use it on my phone instead of Siri or Bixby or was it Cortana. I could probably make my own.
Let me ask you guys.
What kind of ideas did you think of?
A lot of ideas just came from like pretty much the same thing as Denny. You can put it on a phone, you can put it into, say, something else similar to a bass. Just have it around your house.
Or your car.
Or your car. Make your own Jarvis.
Let me ask you guys a question. How has this experience had an impact on your career line of thinking?
Definitely pushing forward. I definitely would love to be.
First of all.
Madison, why don't you continue? Continue, Madison. You volume. Pump up the volume, Madison.
Just saying, this was definitely a career path that was something I was definitely interested in. Didn't have a lot of experience in it, but I definitely knew it was something I enjoyed doing. Computers have definitely been a big part of my life, almost all of my life. And I knew I wanted to do something with it. And now getting a lot more hands-on experience with both hardware and software, it definitely puts more direction in what I would like to do. Because I'm sure it does with everybody else here.
Anybody else?
Also being in a professional workspace also helps me decide on what major I want to go in as well. Really helps me.
And how to act.
What was that? Say it again, I hear you.
And also how to act and what technical skills you would need to work in a workspace environment like this. And in a professional environment in general.
You say these guys are professional?
You meant Jacob, the mentor.
Yeah. We got a lot. He answered a lot of questions about how it's like to work here.
Yeah.
And what we need to do.
Jacob, thanks very much for your support, man.
Throughout your schooling, you've had project-based learning, and obviously this is probably your biggest one so far. So looking back, what would you say to teachers or educators today on how to improve project-based learning? And what have you learned beyond what you already knew as working as a team in this particular project?
Definitely the hands-on experience of the project, and also like, you know, when you're trying to tackle like a main goal, really like for what we did, we split into two groups and we were tackling like things individually to like make one cohesive like product, right? So that really helps like have like a team for each aspect of the project and really go and do it and feed off on each other's like strengths and weaknesses.
So something to tell to teachers is do more group projects. It really helps.
And also have a lot of time management, and have like the students tell you what they actually did on whichever day to see the eventual progress throughout every day. So some students might laze around, some students might not, and it really shows in their daily reports.
And so you guys did that?
Yes.
Y'all each had to, y'all had, at the end of the day, you came together as a team, said, here's what I got done, here's what I'm gonna get done in the next day.
So you guys had regular,
Uh-huh.
you had your regular Scrum meetings,
Yes.
basically, right?
Yes.
So how, without going into detail, I'm sure we're pressed for time, but how have you guys personally changed since this experience? Like, for example, some people might be shy, but now that they've had this experience, they're not afraid to ask questions. Anybody, comments, thoughts? How have you personally changed through this experience?
Well, first of all, I usually don't talk to a lot of people when it comes, if I don't really know them. But some of the people here I don't actually know, like Dimitri and Madison. It's like without actually being forced to work together on a project, I would have never actually talked to them at all.
Excellent.
What was your biggest challenge throughout the whole project? And how did you fix that problem?
So we had like a daily goal, like, and sometimes we wouldn't reach it, so it builds up after like each day. So we kept on falling behind, so we all had to like push, and by the end of the week to make that like big goal. So it's kind of makes it hard.
We did have some, we had some software difficulties and also some technical difficulties. And we actually went back and we also went and resoldered, because there's some soldering that was part of this job to make sure that the wires there's a good connection. So we went back and resoldered stuff because the wires, like, sometimes they might be faulty, so we went back and made sure that they were good. And so we resoldered a lot of stuff, as well as,
Questions? How many times have you all failed?
A lot.
Outside of this office, many.
But in-house, through this experience, are you afraid of failure, or is failure part of the natural? I don't want to lead your answers, but my point here is that how do you interpret failure now?
It's
Everyday
just,
life.
Part of the learning experience.
Yes.
Part, absolutely.
it's pretty much, if you fail, find why you failed
Fix it.
and fix it. Or how we should avoid this in the first place.
So in that same manner is you're working on this and you experience the failure. Did you find the project was nearly all consuming at night or on the weekends? You constantly thought about possible alternatives or whatever. It wasn't like just, okay, I'm gonna do this for 15 minutes and then it's
Yeah.
through.
No.
We had to do our own research.
It's like,
But when you guys put in your extra hours to make that final push, were you driven by your own interest, or was there someone over you making sure? My point is, yeah, you have your mentor, but did you guys on your own want to complete this on time, etc., or was this your passion? Was it coming from your passion?
Each one of us wanted to feel like we're pulling our own weight. So when we're feeling useless, we'll walk out of here feeling depressed. That's why when we would go home, come up with ideas, and then we have text messages going what can we do tomorrow? Right when we come in, what can we tackle right away? And that happened with the code, where we created two while loops that were playing after each other, and then the other one wouldn't run. We had to find a way to integrate it, and that's one of the software problems we ran into.
I wanted to
solved out of the office.
When you guys came back to school, you were always so excited about coming here. And so when we go to try to get more business partners, because I know we saw the elevated excitement, you kind of stepped out of the classroom and into the real world. What could we say to try to encourage other corporations and other entities to, let us bring our kids to you? I mean, we can do so much in the classroom, but do you think coming here helped drive your excitement and your, stick-to-itiveness for the project?
Absolutely. I mean, we all had a good time here. I know there was a bit of struggle coming from all of us, but at the same time, we all just.
I mean, I remember trying to, all the passes, can we leave earlier, Ms. Young, every day?
and in school, it's we are taught a lot of skills, but after coming here, it's we actually learned how to apply all those skills that we actually learned in school. It's not a lot of students actually see how their schooling can actually affect their jobs and like their work life. And this allowed us to actually apply our skills that way into the real world.
Sounds like y'all bought into it more because of that too.
So let me ask you this, so y'all are the hardware folks and you're the software folks.
Yes.
Do you understand enough about the hardware folks to know what they were doing? And like, was there cross
We had to do a lot of mixing of projects.
Okay.
A lot of
We
us
weren't just
worked on
for-
software as well.
Let me ask a logistical question. Were you guys in the same room, or were you in one part of the room, the other, or was it a kind of a unified?
At first, it was two groups.
Yeah, it was
One
two
was,
groups.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then once we got, because we were working on the same thing, kind of like workshop 3 and workshop 5. And once we solved one, or one failed, the other one came over and helped. So we were.
And eventually we all recombined into one gigantic group, working on everything together.
So did you ever just fill up with emotion, frustration?
Oh, yeah, there was time.
And then what did you do to relieve that? To
Profanity.
keep going?
Profanity.
You went to
Jason was a
Yours
great
is
mentor.
theirs.
There was a
We're
lot
not gonna
of
talk about that.
just like debugging to do, and we were like helped along the way, and that was actually a really good important part. There's little things that could really mess up your code, so it was good to have an extra set of eyes.
So Jake, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. My question is specifically for Nick. You want to go into medicine. Has this experience changed your mind at all?
Oh man. Well, the
Or
whole-
made it maybe different?
the idea of engineering will like allow me to tackle problems from different angles. You know, allowed me to see